Okay, so there we are then. We've gone from a load of sprues of plastic bits to where we are now, which is a completed, all bar the decals, Spitfire 172 scale Airfix starter kit Spitfire. Job done. So while you were gone, I just painted the tyre on the rear wheel black. As I said earlier, well, you saw earlier on, the cockpit canopy glasses, or the cockpit's canopy frames have been painted, and all is good. We're done, just about. So it's time to put on the decals. Now we're finished with these plastic sprues now. Please put them in the recycling bin, because no point just chucking them away. They're an oil-based product, so in the recycling bin they go, please, for the dustman. And so moving on to the decals, what we need for this is a little dish with some water in, preferably warm, but if not cold will do. You saw earlier on I think it was part 3, when I put the instrument panel decal on, which incidentally you can't actually really see anymore now that the cockpit's on. So anyway, I've just got the dish of cold water, and it's time to separate the decals on the sheet. Now the paint guide on the back of the box indicates where the decals go. It's essentially the decals, the roundels with the blue surround go on the upper surfaces of the wings. The decals with well, in actual fact, one's got yellow and one's got blue and white. That will go on the undersurfaces of the wings. As you know, I didn't bother painting the blackened section of the camouflage underneath because I don't like it. So I'm just going to carry on with that decal as it is. The Squadron Markings QJ are the codes for I think this was number 92 Squadron, based at Manston Airfield in Kent, all the way down there. So they're the Squadron Markings, and the individual aircraft recognition is the letter B, and then the numbers and letters there are the aircraft serial number, and then the tail section flashes. Make sure that red is also always at the facing towards the front of the aeroplane, and then that cream coloured curve section is actually a stripe that fits around the fuselage of the aircraft at towards the tail there. I don't know if you can see that. I'll show you there. So that cream coloured curve goes around the fuselage, so we have to make sure that that's the right way round when you put it on the plane. Okay, so that's going to be the fiddliest one, and then I think that will be about it. Put the cream band on before we put the serial numbers on, because the serial numbers sit on the band. Okay, now the trick with decals, just cut off the minimum area. Just move the plane over and leave the wing visible. And I'll start with this one here. This is where we introduce some colour, and it really does start to look great actually. Start to think about what you're going to do with your completed model as well. Whether you're going to display it on the sideboard, hang it from the ceiling. It's we're at that moment now where we can start thinking about having those happy thoughts. So with the tweezers, just submerge the decal. In fact, I'm from my supply of water down here, I'm just going to fill this pot up a little bit more, just so that I can look. There we are. So I can hold the decal in there nice and easily. Humbrol do a product called Decal Fix, which softens up the material that decals are made of, and helps it to sink into the recesses of the panel lines on the plane, and makes it look a bit more realistic, because these of course were painted on in real life, and so the paint would have gone into the recesses. So that product Decal Fix helps to create that effect, but I'm not going to use it because it didn't come with a starter kit. and so that wouldn't be authentic to this cause. Have a bit of kitchen roll ready, or a bit of tissue paper, some description, just to dab the water off, because the water might stain the surface of the model if we leave it on. Okay. I think what I'm going to do is just show you one of the decals going on, and then I'll leave you and put the rest on, because again it's one of those things where I've got to pick the model up to do it, and you won't see half of what's going on anyway. So take a little while to soften up in there. Well, I hope you're all enjoying this little project, and that if you do build along with this, that your model comes out to your satisfaction. Like I said earlier, just do it to your own satisfaction. It's meant to be a bit of fun. It's not supposed to be stressful or hard work or too demanding in any way. So just as long as you enjoy it. This is taking forever. I should have had a joke ready to tell while this was all softening up. Oh, it's still stuck on there. I don't believe it. Surely now. No, it's still not moving. Unbelievable. I think what I might do actually is when I leave you, I'm going to go in and get some water. Go into the kitchen and get some warm water that will help to soften these up and get them off the backing paper a bit easier. As I say, don't forget to nearly there. It did move. I don't want to tear it. Don't forget to use the guide on the back of the box to show where the decals are going to go. So on this one, it goes fairly near to the front edge of the wing, and about level with that panel line there for the outer edge, just to give you an idea. You know, you can go to the extent of measuring and marking and so on and so forth for perfect accuracy, but as I say, this is supposed to be fun. So there we are, off of the decal up to the wing. Oh, try not to flick the model across the table, and then just drop it. There we are, just slide it off. Onto the wing of the plane eventually. There we are. So you can slide it around a little bit until you've got it in the position it should be in. I'm just looking over now. I think that's probably about right. So now I'm going to dab it with some tissue, get all that extra water off so it doesn't stain the model. There we are. Just wipe that in. And just press over the decal, get any air bubbles out from underneath it, and we should be all right. All is well. There is a little undulation on the wing under there anyway. So that's it. The first decal on now. So that's all good. I'll leave you be for a little while, and I'll see you in a while.